NBC is working to ensure your vote counts. A record number of voters expected at the polls today, and we're hearing reports of long lines. We're actually seeing video of short lines, but we're hearing malfunctioning machines in several battleground states, including Virginia and Florida. NBC's Rahima Ellis is monitoring all of these voting issues around the country from our Making Your Vote Count studio in Election Plaza across the rink behind me. Rahima?
Chuck, thanks very much. You know, we've been reporting upwards of 130 million Americans are expected to vote in this election. And as you pointed out, that means there could be long lines, and we've seen them even in the early voting states that have gone on before Tuesday. The voter advocacy group Election Protection is partnering with us to try and answer voters' questions. And right now, Jonah Goldman with Election Protection joins us in Washington. Jonah, what I'm curious about is what are you hearing about where there might be some problems? We have been reporting that Virginia is one state in particular that has some problems this morning.
That's right, Rahima. It's great to be with you again. We are hearing problems in Virginia, largely, as you said, with long lines caused by problems at the polling place. That's machine malfunctions and poll workers not knowing exactly how to administer the elections correctly. We're also hearing about similar problems in Pennsylvania, in parts of Florida, and actually in other places whose names haven't come up so much this election season, like New Jersey and New York, where we're also seeing a lot of problems.
Yeah, one of the things we have a reporter in Philadelphia was telling us in Pennsylvania in some sections, they think they may have cleared up some of those issues, but it was a concern this morning. What about the whole aspect of early voting? Do you think that's been a real benefit to people to help work out some of the potential problems in the system?
I think that Pennsylvania is a perfect example. There wasn't early voting in Pennsylvania. There was a limited early voting in Virginia, and those are the places where we're seeing more problems. In North Carolina, for instance, there was a huge amount of early voting, and while there were long lines during early voting, we're seeing a lot quieter of a day on Election Day. It provides states the ability to really troubleshoot before elections, test their poll workers, those sorts of things. And I think that we're seeing that could be a really effective remedy in addition to taking a strain off by having a lot of the electors vote before the election.
As a result of the Help America Vote Act of 2002, Jonah, we've got this thing called provisional ballot, and some people can request that if they're having issues at the polling places. Talk to us a little bit about that provisional ballot.
Sure. Provisional balloting should be a last resort, but it is, in fact, a last resort. It's designed for if you get to the polling place and your name's not on the rolls or if you don't have the right identification. But you need to make sure that you're in the correct place before you cast a provisional ballot. You can do that by either going to 866-OurVote.org or calling 866-OurVote.
Thanks very much, Jonah. We'll be checking back with you later. And Chuck, just to give you a sense of what's going on behind me, when you see all this green on this map, that's an indication of almost 60% of the country is voting using optical scan machines. That's basically a paper ballot like Barack Obama used today in Chicago when he voted. And I think Sarah Palin also used the optical scan machine. You make a mark on the ballot, and then it's placed through a machine that optically scans your vote. Almost 60% of the country that you see in green is voting that way today.
Thanks, Rahima. It's fascinating and amazing that we don't all vote the same way in an election that we're all voting. Thanks very much.